on their way to the roar of the crowd. What a memorable Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a race for the ages.
4 weeks out to the potential Breeders' Cup Classic, which has a field that might be perfect. We're two guys at a Classic, Bram Weinstein, Joe Kristofek. I know everyone's looking forward to American Pharoah racing once again, but Beholder once again was amazing. Won her 6th straight race, and hopefully she'll be there at the end of the month.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like we're going to have a Triple Crown winner, the horse that beat him, an amazing mare, and a European horse that's more than legitimate, Bram, and 4 or 5 other horses that you can make a serious case for in the Breeders' Cup Classic. The stars seem to be aligning. It's going to be exciting at Keeneland just 4 weeks down the road.
Yeah, so we'll see how that works out. As for this weekend at Belmont, which is the Jockey Club Gold Cup race, there's only 6 horses in it. It is a very strong field. We'll get into it in a moment. But the real storyline here is Hurricane Joaquin, which could be a mess this weekend, which could turn the track into a muddy pit. Obviously, we're hoping all this stuff goes off sea by the time we're taping here. We're not really sure what kind of ramifications are going to be in the New York area. But does this change your outlook for the race if it's going to be poor track conditions?
Yeah, I actually handicapped it, and then I went back and said, okay, well, what if it's sloppy, and wound up with the same horses anyway, Bram. I think tactically there's not a lot of speed in the race. At 1.25 miles, if the racetrack were to come up sloppy, obviously front runners might benefit from that. So didn't really change the way I looked at it. It's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out, because this race is important, but 4 weeks from now is even that much more important.
Yeah, I want to ask you about Constitution, who's the kind of woulda, coulda, shoulda horse. Won the Florida Derby a year ago, didn't race in the Kentucky Derby, had injuries, came back, seemed like he was peaking, had another long break again. And then last race, which was on turf, breakneck split times, and then all of a sudden died in the stretch. So I'm wondering how the track conditions play for that horse, considering it looks like he's going to try to lead the field.
Yeah, and I think that race might serve as a perfect tightener for this one. Maybe it was a little bit of an experiment. Maybe it was more so, let's use this race as a springboard to the Jockey Club Gold Cup. I think he's going to be on the lead. I think he's going to be comfortable. I think Coach Inge, who also has good speed, is going to be sitting just behind him. I mean, when we look back to the Liam's Map victory, Coach Inge chased all the way. Then you had FNX and, horses like Wicked Strong trying to close on him. I see a similar situation developing here, but Constitution is no Liam's Map.
No, he's not. And, I love Coach Inge. He's the ultimate gamer. Every single race, doesn't matter the distance, he's right there. And if you're not on your game, he's going to end up stealing it. And if you are, he's going to hit the board. He's not going to die. So he's going to be there. So we'll see how the conditions factor there. The ones who are the late closers are the one that I like here. It's Tonalist and maybe FNX. Maybe FNX. He's hit or miss, and we're not going to know until he hits the stretch. If he feels like hitting the gas that day, maybe he has a chance to win. If he doesn't feel like hitting it, then he just won't, and he'll fall 4, 5, 6 lengths off of the leaders. I like Tonalist here regardless of the conditions, because I think Constitution and Coach Inge are going to run out there. It's a long stretch. It could be a bad track, and I think Tonalist catches them in the end.
Yeah, Tonalist, one of his best races of his career was early in his career, but it was over a sloppy racetrack, so I don't think that's going to affect him negatively. Bram, I'm going to go with Coach Inge here. I think he sets a perfect trip behind Constitution, and I think if you're looking for a little bit of a price play, I think you're right. I think it's FNX. I think he took some time off. I think he needed that last race. I think he runs back to his best here. Whether or not that's good enough, that remains to be seen.
Yeah, I'm calling my best long shot, which is really a value play at Coach Inge. There's only one long shot, really, truthfully, on the board. So I'll take Coach Inge. At 5-1, I will take that. I think that's a really nice number to get, because I think he easily, like you, could win this race. I got $30 to bet on. I went with a $5 exacta box of Coach Inge, FNX, and Tonalist. You like it?
Yeah, I do like it. I think you've got a good chance there. I went with Coach Inge, keyed on top, along with the speed of the race, which is Constitution, hoping that it's kind of like a front-running race. I went 2-3 with 2-3-4-6, using the same $30. I'm a little bit more committed on the front end, but I got an extra horse for second.
Yeah, I think we're both going to win this one. This feels like we're both, I mean, it's hard. There's 6 horses in the field, and one of them doesn't appear like he should be there. So it feels like we should both win. We'll see how it works out. Let's get into the Classic Top 10, as this is our last poll here before the actual big race at the end of the month. And a couple of bits of news. Texas Red is going to be out of our poll because he is out for the year. Catch-a-Plate's got his body sore. He missed the Awesome again, so we're taking him out as well. Liam's Map, as you mentioned, was scintillating in his last race, yet again, really peaking here. So I actually moved him up to third. I still have American Pharoah 1, and I kept Beholder at 2. What's your list look like?
Yeah, we're very similar. I think the European Glen Eagles has to be included now because we're 4 weeks out. He's been pointed to this race for the last month by Aidan O'Brien. He's 3 for 3, Group 1 winner, multiple Group 1 winner, and he's got pedigree for the dirt. His dam is a half to a very, very good horse who ran second in the Breeders' Cup Classic way back when, and I'm looking forward to this horse running on dirt, maybe providing a price. Smooth Roller is interesting, Bram. This horse romped in the Awesome again. He was a lightly raced 4-year-old maiden who just broke his maiden at first asking 3 months ago, and now he's a Breeders' Cup Classic contender.
I'll believe it when I see it with the European horses. You tout them all you want. They never come over here and do the types of things that people like you say they're going to do.
Yeah, well,
We'll see.
half the Giants Causeway the dam was, and he ran second in the Classic, so we'll have to wait and see. But I just think it adds a little bit of intrigue to a race that is already absolutely potentially spectacular.
Yeah, it's the Breeders' Cup Challenge Series. Win and you're in. Saturday, October 3rd. Hurricane or no hurricane, they're going at it. The Jockey Club Gold Cup from Belmont. More racing from Keeneland as well. That's from 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the following day, Sunday, October 4th, more big stakes racing from Keeneland, the site of this year's Breeders' Cup. Same time, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time on NBC. So there's only one episode left for us, Joe. Is this going to be a reflective month for you?
It will be a month that will be spent reflecting on everything that's happened since January, and hopefully it all culminates in some big tickets on Breeders' Cup Day. And I'm going to raise your bankroll just a little bit for that one because I think it's worthy.
I'll have my American Pharoah gear on. You'll have on some beret because you're some big European guy now. And then we'll have to bring in someone to play the role of the mayor of Beholder. We'll have boobs and characters for our final show on Breeders' Cup weekend.
Looking forward to that, and we've got a few candidates for the mayor role.
2 guys at a classic. For Joe, I'm Bram. We'll see you.
Field sent on their way to the roar of the crowd. What a memorable Breeders' Cup Classic. It's a race for